switching this over. I guess that one. All right, should be good. So that being the case, we're back. This time with everyone, and we're not missing anyone for the first time in like a while.
A long time.
Yeah. A little bit.
Like a month, I think. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't hear you because my settings were messed up, and I fixed it.
Yay!
Don't lie, you just didn't want to hear us.
All right. Either way, I think we'll just go ahead and get into it. As probably most people don't remember what happened last time, mostly, and a few people were missing. So last time we kind of left off, you guys had been kind of contracted, but kind of your own version of mapping the sewer system, as the maps that they had were absolute trash, and you guys wanted to kind of investigate a little bit more, see what strange oddities were in the sewer, things like that, and maybe just take a little look around and get some clout in the city. So you kind of went back into the sewers and started mapping it out fully, and so far at the beginning there was nothing strange for a good amount of time, but after a day or two of looking, you discovered one strange oddity near the lower sections of the sewer. A strange glowing seaweed-like plant kind of jamming up one of the sewer system's exit pipes. And so you decided to kind of investigate it and poke it a few times, and upon poking it a couple times, some strange magic came out of it upon kind of messing with the sizes of a few of the party members. But upon immediately kind of getting upset at that and trying to unclog it, Goodbrand even just reached down in his large form, grabbed it, squished it, ripped off the vent, and seemingly destroyed it. And as it kind of flopped down and went into the rest of the sewer system and out the exit, and you guys changed your forms back, you guys finished mapping the last bit of the sewer and decided that it was time to rest, as you guys had a long day doing that. So you headed back to the tavern where we kind of left off there after you guys had just finished your long rest, kind of getting up, coming down, eating the various potted meals that the tavern provides. You can even hear the sounds of the dishes being washed at the moment. Either way, no, you're good. It's funny. Either way, you guys are starting to all kind of trickle in one at a time into the room and eat as you accordingly do. So with that being the case, what are you guys wanting to do?
Well, it sounds like we can go turn in the map and get our pay. So we should start there.
Pay is good.
And we can negotiate the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Negotiating is also good.
I'm wondering whether that will sort of lead us to that section of the wall. But on the other side of it.
The wall.
I still just have a feeling that we missed something.
In the first side or outside?
Well, in the first side, because you were saying that there was space in between the walls. Just makes me curious, that's all.
He didn't say there was space between the walls. He said there was the potential to be space between the walls.
Correct.
If the potential is there.
Well, we can always go back in and double check it, possibly even before we go back into the council offices.
I thought we were against punching holes in the wall to find the potential for space, because it's just a potential.
Well, we are definitely against punching the holes in the walls, yes.
Doesn't mean that our cleric friend here can't tap the walls with his mace. You know, sounds hollow, doesn't sound hollow. Whoop, my mace went through this imaginary wall.
Well, I know that there are spells specifically to find things like that. I just don't know them.
I could create an imaginary wall, but I've got no way of removing them at the moment.
You just make imaginary walls.
Yes, look, I'm trapped in one now.
Well, I also believe we had this discussion where it was a case of, do we want to go prying around super inquisitively into there and make them aware of the fact that we know they're out there and we're actively looking for them? I thought we were trying to hold on to that surprise element for a little while longer.
Yes, I was against it, yes.
I didn't fully understand it. So
we don't want them to know that we are looking for them, because that could bring trouble to us. We don't know the true lengths of their power at the moment. So if they see a bunch of...
how do we know that they already don't know that we know that we don't know anything?
We just have to operate on that thought. We can't make matters potentially worse for ourselves, assuming that they already know about us. We have to act that they don't, and go from there.
And we should be prepared that they do.
Okay.
That is very true. We have to be prepared for both outcomes, and hope that we don't get into trouble.
Sure.
So, we turn in the map, we negotiate the second map, and then we can find out if the other side is the same.
Sounds good.
Maybe we find something there that we did not find on the first side.
I agree.
Well, all right then.
All right. So upon kind of heading to the same offices that you had met with the individuals before, I have their names in front of me. Where you met Britt, and you brought Snowflake to that meeting as well. You head to that office, and immediately you're met with the few people that are at the desk. They seem to be different individuals than you were here last time. It is a different time of day than you were here before. But after kind of speaking with them and letting them know that you're the individuals that came back earlier and everything like that, they figure out what you're here for and go let Britt know at this point. And after, let's say, 20 minutes of waiting, because it's not fast, they eventually lead you back to the same office that you had been to before, where you see Britt kind of moving around and looking around and kind of shuffling a few papers and everything like that. And he goes, "Oh, yes, you all, did you finish what you were building? No, you were finding food for the orphans. Maps, that's it. Never mind.
I hold it up.
Maps of the sewer. That was it. That's what you guys are doing. Well, I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like." And he kind of walks over to where you were holding it up, and he kind of looks at it, and he's like, "You're an amateur map maker, you said? This is pretty good for someone who doesn't do this professionally."
Freelance.
Well, we are getting paid for it, so now we do it professionally.
He has a point.
That is a good argument. You know, that is a definite good argument.
This is the first side. We haven't started the other side yet, but we wanted to make sure that you were happy with the kind of work that we're delivering. collect the first half of the payment.
Well, it is the whole payment. We have not discussed another payment for the other side.
And he's like, true, we have not, but I mean, looking at this and assuming it is accurate, because never been in the sewer, I'm assuming it is accurate, but I will triple check as well, with a
You could.
couple of our workers, but for now I'm going to make the assumption it is accurate, and yes, you will get your payment. That'll be handled at the front desks. I'll let them know. And he kind of looks around for a moment. He goes, and you're saying you're wanting to do the other side? I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys
there
were
is money in it?
quick. I could find the budget. Be a little
There's
tougher,
no
but
point in leaving the job half done.
you are correct, and if the guys working over there hear that these guys got in this map and copies of it, and they didn't get the same thing, it's just gonna be a whole workers union thing. I don't want to deal with it. So we'll just, if you're still wanting to, we'll contract you to do the other side as well. You know, if anything comes up, you can let me know. The foreman for that side, and he kind of pulls out a few pieces of paper and just kind of looking around. The foreman for that side is a Nass, I think is her name. Veronica Nass. You can talk to her. She'll tell you where you could go in and, I guess, what they need.
And where would we find this Veronica Nass?
The foreman's office is going to be on the same level as the foreman's office on this side, but on the other side of the canyon.
Do we know how to get across the canyon? Like, is there like a big bridge, or do we go down and then up?
You know, there's trolley cars that are going. There's basically like the elevators that are going up and down. There are a couple that go across.
Got it.
On a few of the levels, and then there is up at the top level. There is a bridge, an actual full bridge that raises and lowers as well.
But essentially, it's just a bunch of gondolas.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
cool.
it's I mean, they're all free. It's easier to take the gondolas depending on what level you're on, but there's even, I think there's one on this layer, I think. But yeah, he basically describes it's pretty much in the exact same spot. It's against the wall, kind of far back, for the foreman's office on the other side. He doesn't know the exact spot, but it is about there. It should be pretty easy to find once you get over there. And he kind of takes a look at a few other pieces of papers and he goes, "Did you all need anything else?"
Is there anything going on the other side? Any strange reports? Anything that we might need to be wary of?
I mean, other than the many complaints that the Civil Services Office gets on a normal basis, not really. Not that I've heard of, and not that's gotten up to me yet. But
Sounds
strange
fairly
things
normal.
happen every day in the big city. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
All right. Good
All right.
information.
Let's head to the front desk and pick up our money.
Yeah, I'll let them know to get it to you. And he kind of puts his head back in the paperwork as you're really looking at it, just kind of even looking at it. You realize there is, for parchments and ink and quill, there's a lot. There's a lot that he is shuffling around at the moment. He is neck deep in bureaucracy at the moment. But as you guys are kind of heading out and heading back to the front desks, you kind of get to one woman who's kind of just like, "I know your payment," and she kind of pulls out this like lockbox that she pulls out a key for and like unlocks it, and like she starts, looks like counting some stuff, and she kind of puts it all in a bag and kind of hands it to you guys, and kind of looking through it. I write down the amount. I don't know.
think it was 7,000 gold pieces.
Nope.
It's worth a shot.
Nope. Oh no, it wasn't that. I'm pretty sure it was this amount in my head, so I will give you that amount. Now I'll give it you a little more because I forgot to write it down. So
Get more often.
upon counting it all out and everything like that, it's a mixture of platinum and silver and gold, but I'll just give you guys gold just to make it easier. It comes out all the way, divided all out to about 300 gold pieces. Not a crazy amount, but you know, more than daily work.
It honestly wasn't that hard.
Yeah. Well, they don't know that. You went in the sewers. They don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, just to confirm, the lady that we need to speak to is Veronica Nass, the caretaker on the other side of chasm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's we're gonna go see Foreman Nass, or as she's colloquially known, Boss Nass.
Nice. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Either way,
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it. You don't think I don't love it? I love it. You're given your gold, and you guys split it amongst yourselves evenly in the variety of forms. You know, not too bad for the few days, and not too much work other than the smell. But now realizing that you've taken it again, and you have a whole nother that you're basically now halfway done-ish.
Yeah.
You guys have the rest of the day. You can head over there now. You can do.
You know me. I just
things.
want to get the job done as soon as possible.
So, looking at my copy of this side's map, is there an external area that correlates to the outside of the possible something area? So say this is the wall and the sewers are here. You know, this area here could be the weird space. Is there perhaps a derelict building on the outside?
I mean, you would have to go look. You haven't been around enough of the areas to like immediately know of a derelict building around that area. You would have to use the sewer maps to find those areas on the other side of the wall and look and see if you find any buildings or stuff like that. But you could certainly try to do that if you guys wanted to.
Does anyone mind if we
I
just
would
go
like
do
to
a
check that.
bit more investigation? And we're outside, so we're not going to be in the sewers again.
I'm always happy to investigate.
Okay, so we'll make our way to the approximate area.
Okay. So upon kind of looking at the map, knowing where the entrances you guys went in, what layers those are on, and kind of looking, there's really only 2 layers that could really house what you're thinking, or that would connect in that kind of way. So just roll artist, since you're kind of leading the charge. I'll let you do it, and you're good at it anyway. How about you roll an investigation check for me?
Okay. 21, any good?
21's pretty good. So starting to look around, as far as derelict buildings, there doesn't really seem to be any of those. Pretty much every building looks like it's been occupied at least sometime recently. Either with a current shop, it looks like housing or something like that. You know, nothing really starts to catch your eye at all of things that could be. I will give you that you do notice that one of the buildings that is a little bit more made of wood than some of the other ones, that is slightly built into the wall, where a spot could be, you notice, and you would be the only one that notices this, is there's a particular symbol carved into the wood, just barely noticeable, kind of right on the edge of the wall, on the outside wall. And it takes you a second to look, but you remember seeing symbols like this back a while ago. And it's kind of a distinct, I guess, message.
Is it thieves can't?
It's thieves can't is what I'm trying to tell you. It's
Sorry.
in thieves can't. It's slightly different than the kind that you've seen, but you pretty easily can figure out that it's supposed to mean safe haven.
Okay, I'm going to walk a bit further on with everyone, just so that we're got a bit of distance, won't be immediately overheard.
Mm-hmm.
And if the area around us is clear, I'm going to divulge that information to the rest of the party. So basically, I recognized a marker on the wooden building back there. It does seem slightly recessed into the wall at approximately the right location to correspond with the map. And it's a marking for potentially a safe place or a safe haven even, where someone would either store goods or lay low if there was too much heat on them.
Okay.
So we
So-
may have found an entrance to that unusual area in the sewers. But in the sewers itself, I wasn't able to find any entrance on the sewer side.
Okay. Well, we probably don't want to just go approaching the safe house now.
No. That
That would
not in broad
probably be
daylight,
rather
especially.
silly of us. We could try and stake it out tonight, see if anyone walks in, and so we don't actually go in, but we just kind of watch it for a night or so, just to get the general vibe of who's coming in and out, if anyone.
If anyone's good with disguises, that could be even more helpful. So that way, if that person is spotted, they're not going to immediately target us.
True. I can give it a whirl.
Okay. So we'll come back to, well, not we, you'll come back to this location later on in the night under disguise
I do have a disguise kit, so
and keep an eye out for any suspicious behavior. But if it is a proper safe house, you may see nothing unless someone is actively using it at the time.
yes, that's what I expect, but this is a stakeout to see if anyone is using it, and if they're not, then we can always go in and investigate further.
The other thing is, we don't know what was witnessed in that wall when we were visiting the festival. That we didn't investigate the area fully, and I'm wondering whether that may have been another safe house. I haven't checked for any markings or distinguishing patterns there yet.
Okay. It's always something to be aware of. We could, I mean, if we've got much time left, we could maybe check that out today before the stakeout, or would we rather not?
We could take a casual stroll past.
Yes.
If everyone keeps their eye out, then maybe we'll spot something. Just point out any markings to me and I may be able to decipher it for you.
Well, I made a mark on the wall where the man went in, so we should be able to distinguish it pretty easily. I tried to make sure that it was, something that I would notice, but not other people would notice. But I made it very quickly, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to look out for any of their markings, but your mark will give us an area to look at.
Great.
So what are you guys doing now? Upon kind of seeing this next to this building and everything like that.
I guess we are going to go check. Well, actually, there is only one opinion here that matters. So
Says you.
You're muted, Ellie.
as all of you, you are all her subjects. That's just how it is.
Not
You don't
from here.
decide this.
I am subject only to my great lord above.
Your great lord above has decided that you are her subject, so
How dare
Just
you
as mine
speak
has.
for them.
I'm subject to nobody except my own whims.
I don't know what subject we're talking about.
The subject is the noun of the sentence. No, I'm kidding.
Great. Is my mic working now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
it is.
Great. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. I feel we go do what the group wants. It's not all up to me. We are here to do something. So
You are the leader of this group. By right. It
When
is
did we vote for
entirely
that?
up to you.
I don't feel very
If
led.
she's the leader of the group,
don't-
we're
you
the
don't
wrong
vote.
riders.
We don't vote for royalty. They just are. They command. They lead. They are chosen by the gods.
But isn't her dad
This is
the
not
one
the
that's
question.
really in charge? Isn't she like just kind of like,
And her father is
There.
not here.
yeah, right? But then like, she not her dad's like.
I-
I mean, she could be.
I
Are you
would-
your dad, but like smaller?
She
Small
is.
dad?
dad.
I don't
Well, he
recall
is not
being
here.
employed.
She does represent him.
I suppose you could say I am my dad, but smaller.
That's
That
kind of weird.
So how much am I being paid to accompany you?
Is he getting paid more than me?
Are you getting paid? I don't.
Am I getting paid?
I don't know.
Apparently we're your servants, so I expect
You-
payment.
I think I was
This-
paid.
That is not how this works.
Are you getting
It is
paid?
an honor.
Look
It
at
is an
what you
honor
have
to escort
started.
the princess.
Honor doesn't buy food, my friend.
Yes, we're
No,
an
it doesn't.
The
adventuring
money
party.
that we are making on the side does.
That's true.
We're an adventuring party. We're not the royal guard.
You
We
are
do
an
have you
adventuring
there.
party that happens to be the royal guard.
Oh dear.
I never
I
been. I never
expect
been
payment.
a. I never been a guard before.
Then there will be payment.
Guard Captain Walrus. Like it.
I'm gonna turn away from Good and just say that to everyone else that you are not my subjects or servants. You are free to do as you please.
I know.
Yes, I am here to grow into a better leader, but I am also here to just blend in and learn how everyone else works.
Well, I appreciate your forthcomingness. Look, let's just make a group decision. You know, we'll put our hands in the air.
I
And-
swear to God, if you say we're the wrong writers, I'm gonna punch you.
Look, I only say that when you're not around.
We're the wrong writers.
To everyone.
You
No,
said you'd
we're not.
punch
It's
him,
a
not
horrible
me.
name. I hate all of you.
You'll grow into it, don't worry.
I hate that name.
No, I'm happy to work together as equals.
Oh, equals is a strong word, but I'm
A very strong word.
happy to work together.
I grab Artis by the collar. You will never be her equal.
Says
And I
you.
shove him back.
I mean, he is taller than her, so. That's
And then I
kinda
walk
hard.
away. I start walking toward the place that we're going.
Which is
give him a
I
little
still
wave.
don't know.
We're headed to the place where I made the marking on the wall.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that wasn't really clear. So you see Goodbrain grab Artis, say that, and walk off immediately.
And Artis goes,
It's fair enough.
All right. Good. You kind of see that out of the corner of your eye, but you don't really pay too much attention to it.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, upon assuming everyone else kind of starts to follow as well, you guys go. At this point, it would be down 2 layers, I believe.
block party level.
Yeah, go down a few levels to where you had that block party at, and upon kind of taking the elevator down and arriving, it is less lively because there's not a block party going on, but it is still fairly crowded. There are still people, as much as the other levels have people around and walking around, this one has much more people for the amount of space that it has. But they're in, much, I guess, poorer attire is just kind of the best way. These are obviously, they're not downtrodden by any means, but they are not the upper class. They are lower to mid class, if anything. But kind of just walking around, going through the crowds and finding the spot where you had marked. You do find your very small marking. You know where it's at. It's pretty easy, and you're good with directions. So, just kind of marking your way to your back. You see the wall. There's no buildings against the wall over in this section at the moment, but pretty quickly buildings start to show up from the sides of the wall. I mean, if you kept following the walls on either side, pretty quickly buildings start being up against it, and you're kind of back against it, this alley. Is there anything specific you guys are wanting to look for? Or are you just trying to see what happens?
How many people are about? As in, how many people can see us?
At the moment, I mean, there are a lot of people out and about, but this is kind of back and out of the way. So, I mean, if you were watching, there's definitely a few times where you guys are unnoticed, but there are enough people walking around that you don't have a ton of time before you get someone to see you at this point. Basically, you have like 5-minute windows where there's not really anybody around.
Okay, during one of those windows, I shall search the area to see if I can spot any symbols, signs,
Okay.
faint
Roll
hints of a secret door.
roll another investigation check then.
No.
13. Not as good. The one small thing you notice is around the wall, a little bit farther away from Good's marking. There's just a little bit of dust on the ground, and like it looks like rock dust, like gravel almost, a little bit. You're not quite sure what it means, but that's really the only thing you notice, other than that it's a wall and the few buildings around, but nothing seems to really catch your eye other than that.
So it's a couple of feet away from where the marking is?
Yeah. About 3 feet or a yard away.
Okay, when the coast is clear again, I'll wander over to that spot and check that immediate area.
Okay, I'll let you roll one more investigation check, but let's see. 16. The one thing you notice is right where on the wall where that kind of dust and everything is. You have to look closely, but you notice that there's something almost fresh, almost like the wall has almost been smoothed recently. And and you're probably getting that that's where the gravel and stuff was coming from. Maybe someone had patched up something and covered up something. But it's a little smoother than the rest, and you've been around enough ruins and stuff that you see basic patchwork of stonework, and it looks pretty recent. That's basically the only thing you find out.
Okay, I'm just gonna wander a bit more forward down the lane. I think I found the way, everyone. It's this way to get back to the shop that we're going to.
Thank you. And
We're going to a shop.
And as we move away from that area, I let them know that I found what looks like some fresh work that's been done on the wall, either patching or covering something up. I couldn't find any symbols to mark it like we did at the previous location, but that may have been what was covered over. Perhaps the fact that they suspect you saw the door closing, they've designated that area unsafe and they've hidden it.
We can
well,
always break it down if we need to.
Just not
that's
in broad daylight.
yes, that would bring unnecessary attention. I feel like the case is they know that we saw them go there. And I think it is just a case of they don't think it's a safe house anymore. They don't think it's a safe location because we found it and we witnessed them go in. We can try. We can certainly give it a crack and just hope they aren't still monitoring it, which they very may well be, since again they know that we saw it.
Well, if they're smart, they'll have trapped it.
And that is another case that it could be trapped, could be monitored, it could be both. I'm just slightly worried that we may be getting ourselves into a situation that's just too big for our leather boots.
We're just information gathering at the moment. We're not in any situation at the moment.
And I'm sure you wouldn't want your precious princess getting injured or sprung upon by rogue thieves.
That is a part of life.
It's also a part of death.
I'm sure Goodbrand's used to it.
I am quite used to it. Yeah, it has been many years, but it's coming back to me.
So
All right.
it's the afternoon and I don't feel like going back into the sewers now. Do we want to call it a day and do whatever and then go do the sewers tomorrow? We'll meet Veronica in the morning.
I am happy with this. I'm happy with that.
That way we can get a full day rather than just going in for a few hours and then coming back out again. If we're going to
Right.
stay, we may as well make it worth it.
We could always just camp in the sewer.
Oh, see, I quite like my nose. I would rather not.
This marking on the wall, it's on the side that we mapped, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And going from the map, would this be close to an area that we mapped on the inside of the sewers?
Not extremely, but there's one not too far. But it's not like up against it or anything. It's kind of if you're imagining that there is something behind this wall, some kind of room or tunnel or something like that, you obviously don't know how big it is, so you don't know if it's up against any of those sewer tunnels or not. But it's not like really, really close. So depending on how, if there is a space, depending on how big it is, there could be a sewer tunnel up against it. But unfortunately, since you don't know, you're not quite sure. You could go check. You could actually go in the sewers and try to check in that area, or the area that's closest, I guess.
Well, it is. If we wanted to continue the investigation this afternoon, we could go back into the original sewers under the pretense that we dropped something. And we have a pretty good idea where it is. So we just want to go get it and check those strange areas again, see if we can find anything different.
I would not be opposed to this.
That's not a bad idea.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the sewers.
Okay, so you're going in the sewers on this side to kind of check the area where you think it could be up against it. Okay.
On the map side, yes. We're going to check the level where the wooden shack was again to see if we can find an entrance there. And we're going to check down this lower level where potentially...
Let us maybe do ourselves a favor and not mess with that one, since we know where it is and they have not hidden it yet. Maybe we just check the one that they have hidden and that they know has been discovered. That way we don't run the risk of them discovering that we know about more than one.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah, makes sense.
It means I won't get to use my disguise kit, though, which I was quite looking forward to that. But
No, that is
you
later
use
tonight.
tonight.
That is
oh,
later tonight.
oh, okay.
You
Sorry,
will
I
be
was slightly confused. Thank you.
We're going to be banging around in the sewers. Yep, I agree, but it's best not to draw attention to the one that we've already found and suspect. We'll check the one that they know that we know about, so that way they don't know that we know about the other one.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Sure, it is.
Okay. So, upon going down in there, I'll say for the whole process, I'll have 2 different people can make investigation checks and 2 different people can make perception checks. Just to,
I will make a perception check.
That was a perception check and a what check?
and an investigation check. So I'm assuming artists will want to do investigation, probably.
I'm
I've
plus
got
5 on
quite
both.
I've
I
got
am
a
equally
very
bad
high
at both,
perception.
so
I am also equally bad at both.
perfect.
I've got a good
I'm-
perception but a bad investigation.
I'm really good at perception, but I am really bad at rolling.
Then why don't
So I rolled, but
yeah. So Ethlo, why don't you make perception and then either and then artists and one of the other 2 can make investigation just to see what you guys find.
Rough
Well,
times
I
too,
have a
baby.
+0 to investigation.
What
Still
about-
roll a natural 20.
you could.
What's
I don't
this?
know if Ella has a +1.
No, plus
Nope.
0 to
Oh.
both.
Perfect. Yeah, we're doing great. Fuck it. Fine, I'll give it a go.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
a pretty good investigation. and a
Nope,
pretty good
I see nothing.
perception.
Yeah, it's fine. At least some people
fair enough.
got a few good ones at the moment. So it takes a few hours to do this. I mean, you've already traversed these sewers and you have a map, so getting lost or finding your way is not the problem. It's just looking around and trying to find anything what you're looking for. As far as near the shack, the symbol that you did find, you don't really find much else. You don't really find anything around that area.
But we weren't looking there. We were looking at the wallish area
Okay.
that they knew we knew
Okay,
about.
I thought you said you were going to look for both, but it's okay. So, assuming you're just looking there, this is where you would have found something anyway. So, upon kind of looking, Ethla, you pointed out first, just as artists you start to notice it, but around that area, it's very hard to see because it is at like the very bottom of the wall. But using the light that I'm assuming Goodbrand has, it kind of just reflects just a little bit, and you notice right at the bottom there is another etched symbol. This one is slightly different, and it just and immediately going over there, artists, you kind of look, and it takes you a second again because it is slightly different, and looking, it says, or it seems to kind of interpret as to passageway. Kind of looking and where it's located, you do notice that there does seem to be one. You're not sure if it's a hole for. There is a hole right nearby it too, with your investigation. You can't really see well into it, but you feel like they're correlated if they're that close to each other. Like a hole about yay-ish big. And you've seen these holes variety throughout the entire thing. Usually they have they're part of the sewer system. But you've noticed also with your investigation that this one is abnormally, I guess, dry is the best way to say it. It seems a little dusty and doesn't seem like anything's gone through it in a while.
I got my lantern with its continual flame in it. So, because it's a bullseye lantern, I can put the bullseye in the hole and take a look in there.
Even doing that, it goes to a certain degrees and like then starts like rising up. So you don't get to see too far into it. I'll give you with your investigation though, something near the top is creating a small shadow. But unfortunately you can't see what it is. Like it seems to be almost like there's something up above on the top of the hole. It like about a foot in almost.
Okay, I'm going to give a very loud sigh. Walrus, be ready to grab me.
Oh, okay.
Good brand, be on standby. Everyone else, keep your eyes out. I'm going to get down on the floor, reach my arm into that hole, and try and reach up to interact with whatever is in there.
Okay. You know those Halloween baskets where the hands like come out? No, I'm kidding. I really wanted it to be that. No, yeah,
That's why I had him to grab me.
No, I know. I saw
that, but with teeth.
You stick your arm in and you kind of feel around, and you do feel the spot that you were seeing that shadow. There is like a hole into the top area of this tunnel, and it's enough to kind of reach your hand in, and you kind of have to feel around, and you realize that it's some sort of like rod or something. You kind of are able to grab a hold of it, and you kind of are messing around with it, and suddenly you realize that you can twist it. So you twist it. It's a little tough, but you twist it, and you just hear a and after you hear that clicking sound, oh, the wall a little bit to the left of that symbol, you just start hearing a as it starts to slowly shift upwards. All the way up, and you're kind of looking at where the tunnel matches, and it seems to be there's just a slight divot where it's slipping into it. But as you're doing that and you're seeing that, you start hearing as it's rising, small bits of rock are falling out from the hole. As now it raises all the way up to about door height. You look inside with lanterns and light. It is caved in at this point. It's rocks and dust and this, even like full on dust like just comes out and piles out from the entrance. If this was some sort of tunnel, it's no longer one. Unfortunately.
Hey, it looks No, for starters, I'm going to pull my arm out and get back up.
Yeah, I assumed you did at this point.
Looks like they've burnt the safe house.
Hmm.
I don't know whether it's going to be worth checking through this. I mean,
Well, I don't
potentially
know.
there could be something on the other side, but it looks
I feel like
they've been pretty thorough.
if there was anything important, they would have taken it with them. They wouldn't have risked just caving the place in and expecting no one to search through it. There may be stuff in there, but
I will comment that the barely part that you can see, just between the rocks and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to be like a large room. It almost seems to be like a small, basically human-sized, or humanoid-sized tunnel that seems to go towards the wall that you had originally found, like in that direction, and it looks like it even continues, along the sewer wall. At some point. So maybe this was an actual like pathway. You're unsure, but it doesn't seem to be a room. It's almost if it was just a tunnel that caved in at some point. That's the little bit you get from how much debris is in it.
Can I use the bullseye lantern to see, like, in between the rocks and see if we can perhaps see a bit further down the tunnel?
That is basically what you get by doing that. Is you
Okay.
find out it is a tunnel because you can see another wall, very close. But putting your lantern through the rocks and everything, you can see that it is caved in a decent amount. And you're not sure how far, if it's only caved in like a specific section and you could dig it all the way out and continue, or if it is caved in a lot. You can't tell because of how much debris there is.
Okay. Well, I relate this information to everyone else, explaining the situation.
Are we able to close the door? Or did the rock slide prevent that?
You would probably have to move a little bit of the debris. But you could probably get it closed again. It would take you a little bit of time.
I vote for closing it back up.
Okay.
We should spread the rocks out so that I don't know how we're going to make sure no one knows we were here.
I mean, I don't personally. I don't think it matters if they know someone was here. It just matters that they don't know it was us that was here.
Well, Goodbrand and I was seen.
Okay,
Goodbrand was more seen than I was. And it was at the entrance, so potentially, if they're aware that someone's been here, it could be putting a target on him.
He never did look back.
Doesn't mean someone else wasn't.
True, there could have been lookouts.
A thieves' guild. I mean, this isn't just one person we're dealing with. There's probably many, and they have eyes all over the city, I would think.
Well, then I imagine that we are all burned.
I don't think I'm injured yet.
I mean that our cover is blown.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah, so it's better that we cover it up and hope that they don't notice that we've been here, so that they think that their secret is still secret.
At least now we know more what to look for when we're studying the next side.
That is true.
Maybe we will have some sort of advantage when looking around for them.
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint.
Hey DM, my roleplay, I'm wanting to get advantage on my next time I do this. Can you please give it to me? What it might do is make the DC easier. That's what it might do. You'll find out when it happens, if it happens. I know, I'm messing with you. Okay.
as I am with you, sir.
I know. We're good. We're good. So upon having this conversation, as you guys are cleaning this up, it does take a little bit of time. But luckily, since this tunnel seemingly and this entrance was kind of small, it doesn't take too long to put a few back in and shovel a bit of the dust out to be able to get it to close. It takes a little bit of a process of doing it, but kind of reaching back in and pulling and twisting it again, it does seem to click back down, back into place. And kind of taking the time to kick around some of the dust and some of the bigger rocks, chucking them in different areas. It seems as good as you're going to be able to pretty much get with what you've got hidden and covered up, that you guys had opened it at all. So upon kind of doing that, what did you guys want to do after that? Did you want to just go back and rest?
That's my plan.
Or did you want to? I'm sorry. Did you want to stake out the other spot?
I wanted to stake out the other spot, but I
That
don't.
was
Are we
in
still
the
going with that?
evening under the cover of darkness.
Which at this point
it
is
not?
only a couple hours away.
So we'll eat, and then Effler can take some time putting on his makeup.
I don't need much time. I am a professional, but yes, I can do that.
Okay, you guys can do that. So, kind of exiting the sewers, making your way back out through the way. Luckily, not spending too much time and not having to deal with it too much. You make your way back to the tavern to kind of eat some potluck, and Ethel, you're wanting to use your disguise kit.
I
Is there anything specific you're trying to do, or you're just trying to kind of just mask yourself and your features and stuff like that?
That's what I was originally. I'm trying to think if I can go as anything more specific, but I can't exactly dress as a thief, because that would be a silly idea. It would be silly to dress as a policeman.
Old Miss Doubtfire.
Hello!
I'm going to just mask my features, and I am 100% going to be in female clothing.
Borrow a
I
dress
have
from
I
the
have male
princess.
options. I have decided, and look, I am only getting into these clothes so they don't know that I'm male, that's a very revealing feature. I'm hiding it. This is very necessary. I need to be wearing this clothes. It's
Luckily,
the only way.
Luckily, your circlet goes great with your dress.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm not one to disparage it. Skirts give you like a great, refreshing undercarriage issue. So
That circlet is pretty unique. I wouldn't wear that with this outfit. They might still be able to tell who you are.
This is true.
All right, I'll leave the lovely circlet here, but I'm still going to wear a hat. I'll just put a beret.
I'm gonna put more blush on him. Help fix up a little bit of his eyeliner,
Some contouring.
Yeah, a little bit of contouring. Totally things I know.
Well, actually, I want Efla to make a charisma check for me.
Charisma check. Okay.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Flat
As
charisma.
he gets hit on by everyone.
Because you're not proficient in your I guess it would be. I'll add your half proficiency.
perfect.
I didn't even see
Yikes.
it. Oh, natural
Oh,
one.
Yikes.
Scurvy witch.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't he have advantage on that since Olive was helping him?
No, what I was more basing that on is how good he comes down originally as, and then now you guys are gonna start helping him. This is more. We'll see in a second, but this is slightly more role playing. Yeah, Olive, you definitely have to help him.
Yeah.
He says he's skilled in it. He might not have done this for a long time.
There's no mirrors in this room.
It does not look great. Roll one more time because they're gonna help you. Hopefully get it. Okay, a 13. I think you technically will add 1 because of your ability. So
I'll just quickly spray some perfume on them.
so it'd be a 14. It'd be a 14 total. It's not
Looks
bad.
like Dr. Frankenfurter.
It's not terrible. And even like looking in the mirror, you know it's not absolutely terrible. It's definitely going to disguise you. The question is how believable it is when people are close. Maybe it at least does the bare minimum of disguising your features.
In the darkness.
Yeah, it disguises your features at least. So you know, if someone saw you in this and someone sees you tomorrow in your normal outfit, you're pretty sure they wouldn't be able to tell that it was you. But you know, not the best disguise in the world. Are you staking this out by yourself?
I
Anybody
think
going
that's
with you?
the best option. Although it may be good to have someone staking out my stakeout, like
Staking out
kind
your
of
stakeout.
away in the distance.
A stealthier
Kind of like,
stealth.
caw.
Do we
And
know if there
then-
were any
I'm a
like
birdie
cafes or
too.
anything that maybe had some outdoor dining that were somewhere near there?
In that area of town?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
No.
What
about any inns that might have had an overlook?
An overlook? No, the only inn that was nearby, and it was it was actually pretty close to that symbol. It was more like a tavern. It didn't look like an inn. The name of it was, I had written it down. The Wolf's Fang. That's the only business that's really anywhere close to it. The rest of it is mostly residential stuff.
Well, we could try to find a house that isn't occupied at the moment.
You could try that. You'd have to look, but you could certainly try to do that.
I'm not one for clandestine activities.
I'll take a look
I
around.
would be spotted a mile away.
I don't even know what clandestine means.
It means hidden or secret.
No, I'm not good at that.
Yes. No, neither of us are.
No.
Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe we should disguise Artis as well.
Well, I don't think Artis needs to be in a disguise. He's going to be away.
What? I'm just wandering the streets.
Yeah, he'll look completely fine where he is. I don't think we need to dress him up.
Unless I have to break into a place, then that's another issue. But
Might not have to dress him up, but we could
cross
put
that
him in a
bridge when
dress.
we get to it.
That's up to you guys.
So I'm going to have a wander around, see if any residential houses that don't seem to have any light coming from inside, or perhaps look to be in a certain state of disrepair.
Okay. So so Artis and Effler are leaving, correct? That's the plan. Okay. The rest of you guys hang back for a moment as you two leave. Artis, roll me another investigation check. It's a lot of investigation checks, but you guys are investigating a lot of stuff. Not amazing.
Ooh.
It's hard to tell which houses are empty or not, other than the fact that they have lighting. You do find one that is not extremely close, but has a slight line of sight to kind of where it is, as close as you can basically get, that seemingly is pretty dark inside. And upon kind of even trying to like see if the door is locked or anything, it seems unlocked. And you could step in if you want to.
Gonna take a look around my surroundings. Is there anyone on the street? Are most of the shutters shut?
Yeah, most of the shutters are shut around the buildings, including with this one. There's not, other than a few people walking by every once in a while, there's not very many people. You can easily duck in and not be seen.
Okay, I'll crack it open and have a peer in.
Okay. Are you using your lantern, or are you just trying to peek in without it?
I haven't got out my lantern. I don't want to draw attention to myself yet.
Okay.
So I've just sort of opened the door and gone,
Well, without your you have no dark vision, so you don't see
Nope.
too much into the house. You see like 5 or so feet into it. It looks pretty empty. It looks on it. It doesn't have any furniture in it. It looks a little bit in disrepair. The only thing you notice is that there seems to be what looks like some kind of pile of something, like covered by like a cloth. It looks like kind of off in the corner. It's the only thing you notice, just with the cursory glance in with no light.
okay, I'm going to close the door behind me and take open my lantern, cracking it slightly.
Okay. Kind of getting the little bit of the light into the house. You kind of look around. There are what looks like a few like crates and stuff kind of around as the house in different spots. It is a little bit in disrepair. It's not anything insane, but obviously someone hasn't really been taking great care of the place. But you do notice that there does seem to be what looks like some sort of ramshackle tent, and also what looks like a not a sleeping bag. What do you call it? Bedroll. A bedroll. Yeah, my brain couldn't remember the word bedroll. Kind of set up like in what would basically be the living room area of the place. So it looks like someone else is squatting here.
Is there dust on the floor? And if so, has it been disturbed recently?
There's a little bit of dust, but it's mostly against the corners, so it does look like there has been traffic through here. No, there's enough dust where obviously no one cleans, but it's been disturbed enough where movement has happened in this house. Is basically the best way to describe it.
John, you home, mate? John!
After a beat, you hear, and you see actually 3 different figures move. One coming from the tent, you just see a head kind of pop out. You see another figure kind of that was up against the corner all the way in the back. Now suddenly, you didn't notice him before because your light didn't hit him, but as he's kind of starting to move, you tip your light over. And then the pile of the thing covered by the cloth, kind of about 5 feet away from you, just starts to move as well. And you realize there are actually a few people squatting here, as you see what looks like 2 dwarven males and a human male all kind of get up. They're all shaggy and all that kind of stuff. And there's like, one of them kind of just goes, "Why are you yelling? There's no John here. What are you..."
Oh, sorry, mate. I must got the wrong house. I'll be off now. Sorry for disturbing. And then I pocket my lantern, close it up, and leave.
You just hear clang as one of the guys have like thrown like this shabby metal plate that they had like across the room, not at you, just near you, and it just kind of makes a loud banging noise as it lands on the ground, and you just hear and one of the guys covers back up, and you just head out of the house and everything like that.
Thought that might work.
Efla, at this point you would have gotten kind of near that spot.
Yeah.
You do see the bar nearby it, the tavern, and you do see the couple houses that are around. the residential and stuff. But are you just kind of hanging in one spot and looking, or are you trying to do anything specific?
I'm probably just hanging in one spot that's a little bit away. I'd say maybe how far could I have 60 feet of
Dark
dark
vision.
vision.
It-
So
it-
about 60 feet away,
I
kind
would
of not standing underneath the light or anything, just kind of.
I would say you could get to about 40 feet away because it is a packed area, so there's a lot of
Okay,
buildings and stuff.
40.
So you could
As
stay
just
about
as far
40
away
feet
from it as I
away.
can,
Yeah.
while still having a clear sight. I'm not like, is that a thing over there? Or
Yeah. Yeah, you can get about 40 feet away and kind of look at both the few residential near there, the spot, and the bar. Just make a perception check. Just kind of just see what you notice along the way.
okay, where is my perception?
Artist, did you want to try to find another place or
Why?
not great?
There's a rock in his shoe. He found it.
Twice.
You keep looking around, this is the natural one. You keep looking around, but your mind is just slowly wandering and you're like, what? Why did that room not have a mirror? That makes no sense. Like, people need mirrors in their rooms. Why don't people have mirrors in their rooms? If I had a mirror, I would have done a much better job, for sure. I didn't need help. I've done this way, but you know, you're just constantly thinking, and your eyes are just not really paying attention to the scene. The only thing you really notice is you just notice a few people going into the tavern. You know, but you just notice you don't even really notice anything about him. You just notice that you see people going in. That's really about it.
Fair enough.
You know, you don't see anyone but going near the wall or anything like that. Even with a natural one, you would at least probably notice that. And unless they're being stealthy, you have not seen that. Artist, what did you want to look for another place? I'll say you walk by and see kind of where Efla has stationed himself, and he seems to be getting a pretty good look at the area. I don't know if you wanted to try a different spot to get a look, or if you just kind of wanted to keep an eye on him.
I want to find a different spot, but hopefully that will have either a view of him or a view of the wall.
Okay. I will say you could pick one or the other. You won't be able to get a good unless you're nearby him. You won't be able to get a good spot for both. You would only get a spot for the wall or him.
I'll search for a good spot to keep an eye on him.
Okay. It is dark, so it is harder. I mean, there is the little bits of lights that are set into the ceiling that are dim because it is nighttime. But is enough to at least get a cursory glance at what's happening along the street, the different roadways and things like that. Just make a perception check as well, just to see if you notice anything with your view. Another 2. Wow, you guys are not rolling great.
I'll need to change them colors.
You do notice, you do notice that Efla does seem to look around a little bit, but other than a couple people going into the bar, like he sees, there's really nothing you see, unfortunately. You don't see anyone go near the wall. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how long you guys are planning on staying out here, but I'll even say like 4 hours go by, and that's really all you get at this point.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You guys could stay up way longer if you wanted to risk potentially getting exhaustion. You could, but it is up to you guys.
So approximately what time is it now? Is it about midnight?
Yeah, it's basically just about hitting midnight is your best guess.
We stayed out for say another half hour.
You could do that and be
and then
fine.
head back.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay out for another hour.
So yeah, you casually kind of walk by him and mention that, and you guys know that you're gonna stay for a little while longer. So I will give you guys one more perception check, each, just to see if you notice one particular thing.
Let's see if I can do this. Go, gadget dice.
Much better rolls. You're still watching the wall as much as you can and seeing those stuff. The one thing you do notice is you see a person come out of the bar nearby, pull out some keys, lock it, and leave. You start to think. You don't remember seeing... You saw about 3 or 4 people going into the bar. You don't remember seeing any of them leave.
I knew that's where that's going.
That's the one thing you notice.
It's a lock-in.
Okay, we both noticed this.
Yeah, you both were good enough to notice that
Oh,
that you didn't really see anything about the individuals going in. You weren't really paying enough attention to them, unfortunately. But you remember over the course of the last 4 hours, like 2 to 3 to 4 individuals going in, and now this one is coming out, locking it, seemingly, and you don't remember them coming out. So
See, sometimes it's not about what you see; it's what you don't see.
which is why you perceive that.
Well, I guess I kind of exchange a glance with him, and I'll be like, kind of motion my head towards the bar, see if he picked up on what I picked up on, and
You kind of notice that Efla seems to have noticed the same thing you have noticed. Artis.
I give a nod back. It's like, yep.
okay, well, I guess at this point I'll kind of walk over to you, like very slowly, and then kind of just whisper, what should we do? Should we go back, tell the others, come back tomorrow or in the morning, or do we
Well, several
risk
people
staying out a
went
little
in,
longer?
so we can anticipate several people being in there, and we're not frontline fighters.
We don't need to go in. I just mean, what if we kind of like peek in the window, see if they're in there, or if they're like further in. If there's
Well, since you're in disguise, you can have first dibs on that, and I'll keep an eye on you.
I think that's reasonable. I will do as I say. That I will approach the pub and see if there's any windows around the side, or like if there is a side. I'll take any windows available.
The only windows that are in this bar seem to be like little slits that are just more for airflow, it seems like. You can try to peek in those. I will say make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're really only getting like one eye into the darkness. It's a difficult thing to do.
Perception with disadvantage.
There's another natural run.
Hold on.
Two
was
natural
that...
ones.
Oh, no, it was a 7. The other one was a 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was 2 natural ones.
No, yeah, it dropped to 7 for you. Unfortunately, it's very dark, and since there are no actual good windows, you can't get any kind of good look inside. All you can basically see is like a couple bar stools. That's about it. That's all you get on the inside. It does seem dark on the inside. You didn't see any individuals or anything like that, so.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, it was worth a try.
as Efla walks away from the tavern, I'll slowly start making my way back to where we're staying.
Okay. So you guys kind of
Expecting
casually...
Efla to be following me.
Yeah, you guys, assuming you're heading back, you kind of aren't together, but kind of keeping near each other. just as a precaution, but trying to make sure that you guys aren't. It's not easy to know that you guys are together. You just happen to be maybe going the same way, and kind of making your way back up the couple levels to the bar that you guys are staying at, or kind of going in. I'm assuming the rest went to bed at this point, because it's about 2 in the morning now. So they've been gone for like 6 hours.
Yeah, definitely would have gone to bed.
Okay. So you kind of arrive, and the bar is fairly empty at the moment, and it doesn't seem like even your compatriots have stayed up. But you guys are also tired at this point. So assuming you guys head to bed, luckily you just get back before you would have had to worry about exhaustion.
Goodbrand would have stayed up.
Okay, you would have stayed up? Then you see
Yeah.
Goodbrand kind of sitting at one of the tables in the corner. He's one of the only compatriot people that are actually in the bar at the moment. And he notices you two's arrival at this point.
I'm gonna sort of give a nod and sort of
Yep.
with my head indicate upstairs.
As soon as I see them come in, that's when I'd go to bed. Like
Okay.
that, you know what I mean? It just, someone should wait up. That's all.
Okay. Certainly. So, you notice them come in. They kind of give you a nod, but kind of start to head up immediately, and you follow them and head all up to bed, and kind of immediately fall asleep as you've stayed up a pretty long time. So, long rest goes on. Olive and Walrus kind of get up a little earlier than everyone else. Just the fact that they went to bed earlier than everyone else. So you guys kind of get up and eat breakfast, and Walrus, you just eat a little bit more than usual, just because you get you have to wait for everybody else. You're just eating as you wait, and you get a little fuller than you usually do, which is saying something. But eventually, a couple hours after you guys get up, you see the rest of the party kind of waltz in. A little tired looking, but nothing too bad. You guys can converse on what had happened if you'd want, or...
How did it
So?
go last night?
Oh, well, have a chat about that upstairs. Kind of hungry at the moment. It's a late night and a long sleep,
Yeah.
and may not be the best place for a chat here.
I would agree.
So I'm gonna eat my breakfast and everything, and when everyone seems to be done with their meal, we can pop upstairs and powwow.
Okay. So, you guys have to eat. The other two seem finished pretty much, but you guys eat pretty quickly, and then head back up to the larger room and kind of all get in for a moment until you feel like you're definitely alone in the room, and you're pretty sure no one is around to hear you at the moment.
So quietly tell them what we saw, what we didn't see. Basically, it seemed like several people, we saw at least 3 people go into the bar, but nobody came out except for the person who locked up.
Yep. Which is a little bit suspicious.
You
Especially within such close proximity to the place we were staking out. It's
But I did find a squat. Very occupied.
Oh, nice.
And there's no John there.
it's such a shame they don't have a toilet.
It is.
But yeah, we didn't see, well, I didn't see it. Nobody went near the wall or interacted with that wooden building. But yeah, that in is definitely suspicious. I've heard of a lock-in. God knows I've participated in a few of them myself. But generally, the tavern keeper locks himself in with you.
Yes.
Do you think they are in trouble? Or
Don't know if they're in trouble or if that location is a cover.
As I said, the
Perhaps
close
it's a cover
proximity
for
to the
putting people into danger.
well, I mean, we need to kind of evaluate the options here, or the possibilities, I should say. Well, the possibilities being, one, this is some other secret entrance to the safe house or a deeper compound. Two, these people are in danger. Perhaps the tavern is in on it and is getting patrons drunk beyond their coherentness, and then they're being kidnapped or robbed or anything by the Thieves Guild, so this could be a stick-up operation. But either way, I think we know for certain now that we do need to investigate.
I think there's a third option.
No.
Yep.
Okay, go on then.
Alternatively, the tavern keeper is either a murderer or cannibal or both. And those
A murder
people,
cannibal.
murder cannibal. Yep. Or, and this is far less likely, the inn is actually sentient, and he is like the servant of the inn, and he's feeding these people to his house.
The inn is a mimic.
I feel like the murder cannibal is the more likely of those two, though.
I would think they were both equally likely.
I have heard of a similar, thing before, where an innkeeper was killing off their guests and serving their bodies up as food.
Well, I must say that's not a very good business strategy.
Well, they would never
actually,
know,
they got
right? You
free
kill a
meat.
few people.
Yes,
Exactly.
but you do run out of customers at a certain point.
Not in a city this big, though, right? You kill a few people here and there.
A lot
Maybe
of
they killed the
transients.
John from the squatting people, right? And there you go, free meat.
Mm-hmm.
And no one would know.
That does make me think, though. You mentioned this group of squatters. I mean, I don't personally fancy interacting with a group of extreme lowlifes, but it's worth perhaps talking to them and seeing if they know anything.
It seems a bit dismissive of them, but
No.
There's plenty of work.
Well,
you don't know their situation. Maybe they can't find a work. Maybe they're not skilled people. Maybe they're idiots.
Well, they'd already bedded down for the night when I went in there. I disturbed them. But they were already in their blankets, bedrolls. One of them even has a tent set up in there.
Well, I'm just saying, perhaps it's worth asking them and seeing if they are aware of any shenanigans in the area.
Problem I have with that is they could be guards. They could be waiting on a call, basically to come from behind. As in, we may be alerting them directly by going, "Oh, hi guys, have you seen anything funny around here?"
Okay. What if Goodbrain and I went there acting like corrupt city guards and threatened to beat them if they didn't talk to us?
Ask for
That
John.
way, if they're got it. That way, if they're guards, like you said, you know, they'll defend themselves, and if they're not, they'll be really scared and tell us anyways.
Yes, threaten the innocents.
If we're not actually gonna hurt them unless they're like, "Hey, we're also surprisingly armed," and there we go.
Before we decide to do something like this, I think that we need to know why we are doing it. What purpose is there? What purpose does it serve? What information are we even trying to gather?
Oh, I was simply just inquiring. Have you seen any interesting goings on at the tavern? Do you know anything about the tavern, perhaps?
What if the tavern's just a red herring and completely unrelated?
Well, there's still the case, even if it is a red herring, there's still something going on there. Well, even if it's a red herring, we should see what the situation is. We know what we saw, and that was people not leaving.
What is our
That
goal
be a
here?
matter for the actual town guard, though.
Our
Because
goal
we
here is to
don't,
get more information.
because we don't work for the city except in a mapping capacity at the moment. We have
Well, then
no
I guess we're
authority
mapping
here.
the tavern.
That's
It's
not
got a
exactly what I
drain,
mean.
right?
I mean, what are we trying to do with this information? What is it that our goal
We could
is? Are
use
we
it to
trying to
our
take down this
advantage.
entire guild? Is that
I
the goal?
personally think that's a splendid idea, and I'm happy you suggested it.
I'm trying to take down a murder cannibal.
I mean, there's probably murder cannibals in the Thieves Guild. We don't know yet because we don't have enough information.
Oh, there we
I
go.
just like
This-
knowing things and exploring.
It is a large organization to take down. I feel like
And we are a small disorganization.
well, yes,
That
exactly.
doesn't seem like a positive.
That's what we could call ourselves.
Not a positive.
The disorganization.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh Lord.
Look,
Not bad.
opposites
like it.
attract,
Yeah.
and either we go looking for them and go with the advantage, or they'll come looking for us.
Again,
Opposites
you're
attract.
assuming they're related, and it's not something independent.
Well, okay, no, this wasn't me assuming that they're related. I'm just saying that the Thieves Guild in general is going to wish for us at some point. They know that we know something's up, even if they don't know the specifics of what we know. And
So-
I'm just thinking that it is very possible that this tavern could be a lead. Even if it's not, it's still worth looking into. But hey, we are a democratic group, so we can
Oh,
vote
we
on
are
it.
not.
We decided this. We're not rehashing old arguments now.
It is not an
Even your
argument.
princesses said
It's
it.
just a fact.
Yes, the princess, the one supposedly in charge, said we should vote as a group.
The princess is allowing you to give your input, and that is all.
I vote for the disorganized democracy.
That's just every democracy.
Well, at least it's better than corrupt communism.
That is true.
So we need
Look.
to decide what we're going to do with the information that we have, or whether we're going to do anything at all. We can go on with our mapping job today as we originally planned.
I think that is the way to go.
Yes,
Because
I
it
am happy
may
with
not
that.
be the best idea for us to repeatedly show up in that area.
Mhm.
If we haven't drawn attention already, that will definitely do it if they've got people on the lookout.
And we'll get murder cannibalized.
And just because we didn't see them doesn't mean that they didn't see us.
Yes.
So I vote for continuing with our mapping job today. We'll be on
Alright.
the other side of the town, so we
Lay
won't
low
be
and go
anywhere near that
underground, as it
area.
were.
And if they have any contacts in the city council, then they'd know why we're there. We're there to map.
Yes. Okay. I'm okay with that. If everyone else agrees, then that's what we should do.
Anyone up for mapping?
Sure.
Seconded, third, whatever.
Brand?
Oh, we already know. Since the princess said yes, he says yes.
You are
It
correct.
is a democracy. He does get his own say, whether he wants it or not.
You will learn. It is fine. For now, the princess indulges you, and that is fine. Let's go.
All right.
And off we go.
So, getting a slightly late start just because of sleeping a little bit late, but also having this conversation. You guys are starting to leave and head out and taking one of the kind of gondolas across. It's not too hard, luckily enough. They do come a little less frequently than the elevators do, but to kind of taking one across, you kind of get to see like the full sides of this canyon at this point with the windows and everything. You can kind of even see how each layer, the top ones are obviously more of the upper class, while the bottoms are not, as you can see them more like congested, more people moving around. The buildings are closer together, while the higher up you go, they seem to spread out more. The buildings seem to be larger. There seems to be, more like filigree around and things like that as well on both sides. And you can kind of even see the large kind of crack that's kind of making this canyon all the way down at the bottom, where you can even see like a small crater kind of all the way at the bottom. You can't really see too much of it, but only seeing it as you kind of go across, and kind of as you're reaching across to the other side. You do notice that this side kind of does start to look a little older. Perhaps this is a little bit more of an older section. This side is maybe slightly older than the side you were on. But it's still fairly similar. A lot of the lower layers seem to be more congested, while the upper layers seem to be more of the upper class. But you kind of make your way across and going down one of the elevators to the level that you believe this foreman's office is. You kind of make your way to the back wall, where you find a similar looking metal building that the other foreman was in, but this one, it looks like a little bit more put together. Either it's being well taken care of, or it is been recently repaired or something like that. You're not entirely sure, but kind of upon knocking on it, kind of immediately gets opened up, and you see a human woman, surprisingly, like, for a foreman of this sewer, not as big as you expected. She's actually relatively short and thin, but she kind of just looks mostly up at the lot of you and kind of is just like, what do you guys want? You're here for a reason.
Before we do this, Mr. DM, do you have music playing?
I think I do. Yeah, should be.
I can see that you're sharing computer sound, but
can you guys not hear it?
Can anyone hear it?
No.
I can hear it very faintly.
Faintly.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
How about now?
I can hear it louder now.
I got nothing at all. There we go. I can hear it very faintly.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll try that. It's fine. My settings got all messed up between things, so I can fix it better later.
It's just I noticed it and I wanted to question it before we got into stuff.
You're good. Yeah, it's just the background music. It's nothing too intense. Either way, you kind of have her looking up basically at all of you pretty much. And kind of just like, yeah, what do you want?
Are you Veronica Nass?
Yeah?
You're the foreman here?
Mm-hmm.
We've been sent by the council to do a mapping job.
Oh, you're those people. That makes sense. Who else would be coming here, to be honest? Let me look. She kind of goes, yeah, you did the other side. I'm glad you're coming over here to do this. Let me just show you around for a second. She kind of lets you in, and you kind of see this is definitely more put together. The only difference is that a lot of the stuff along the walls and the shelves are a lot shorter and a lot lower down, seemingly, so she could probably reach all of it, and she can, but it is a little bit more organized than the last foreman's office that you stepped into. And she kind of pulls out a few things and kind of messes them around, and she's like, now I know you messed around in that sewers over there. These are a little bit older, so there's a little bit more repair work that has been done. So just be a little bit more careful, I would just say. But other than that, it's pretty similar to the other one. Do you have one of these? And she pulls out a tool that you guys still have from the other foreman's office. You kind of let her know, and she goes, "Okay, you don't need that." It's the same thing, and you open them the same way as the other side. I actually installed those, but no one's gonna tell you that. Either way, she kind of trails off for a second and kind of tells you the multiple different entrances. They seem very similar, except that there's actually 4 on this side. One that's up at the top as well, on the top layer. And she kind of just goes, that's the basics of it, and she kind of pulls out another ramshackle map. Now this one is a little bit more detailed and has a little bit more to it than the one from the other side. So you do have an actual decent starting point. A little bit more than the last one, but as you can already kind of see, this one looks a little bit bigger. Not crazy amount, but a little bit. And she goes, yeah, here's where you're gonna enter here, and then there's a ladder here if you want to use it, or you can just go around. And she gives you a little bit of the lay of the land as best she can. But she goes, you'll figure it out. It's very similar. But hopefully you do a little bit better job than what I can do here, because I'm definitely much better in the repair work side than the drawing lines on paper side.
Well, I'd rather start from the top and work the way down to the bottom in order to build an accurate map of the place. Is there anything that we need to be aware of? Any occurrences, perhaps some more slimes or oozes?
No, other than the little guys that are around, I haven't seen anything. But they're always around. They won't bother you.
No complaints from other workers about anything down there?
Not that I've heard of. But hey, if you find something, you let me know.
Oh, we'll take care of it.
Well, I appreciate it if there is something to take care of. But hopefully it should be pretty easy other than the smell. But
We're used to it.
that's what I assumed.
And you were saying that there's a higher up entrance there, so we go out that way and
Yeah, just
and
take
go
the
up
elevator
or 2
up.
levels.
Yeah, so there's one at the very top, which is about, it's 2 levels up at this point. That basically is the top entrance. So yeah, she describes it to you. It's pretty easy to get to. And she goes, y'all need anything else at all?
Is there anything else we should know? Any potential issues we may come across?
No. But if you do need anything, I'm gonna be walking around the tunnels. You'll see. I've installed. This is new. I installed these bells kind of around a few of the tunnels that just have a little ringing thing. If you ring it, it kind of echoes, and I can find out where you guys are at. It's mostly for the workers in case someone does something stupid. But I mean, you could use them if you wanted to. So if you have any trouble, bring one of those, and I'll be able to come over and see if there's anything going on. That's pretty much the only other thing I could think of. Not really much happens new in the sewer, to be honest.
Yes.
Okay, we all set? We've got to go up a couple of levels to get this started.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Ms. Nass.
Of course. I mean, you're doing needed work, so I appreciate it. And, she kind of goes back to what looks like she's got some strange like metal contraption on her workbench that she starts working on again. You're not quite sure what it is, but it seems to be doing something. But as you guys kind of leave and start to head that way, I'll say, just to make this a little more convenient, heading up and going through the entrance of the sewer, assuming you're mapping it and you're looking for that stuff, I would say two artists and one other person can make an investigation check just to see if you find any hints of anything.
My investigation's kind of trash. And I've
My investigation is absolutely trash, and I roll trash. So
My dice rolls are trash tonight.
I have
I'm
a
not
0. You at
stabbing
least have
anything.
jack of all trades.
Okay, fair enough. I have +1. Oh wait, you said 2 people roll.
No, I'll let you do it too. It's fine.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Y'all are being indecisive, so it's like I'll roll with my
Yeah.
0.
No, you're good.
Princess has decided. I changed the color of my dice, so this will be a nat 20.
Well,
The 19.
It's close.
Hey, it's all in the dice color.
So just to generally describe it, you do notice that these tunnels are definitely older. They're made of a different. They look to be. They're still carved into the stone and everything, but they're obviously more rough. Probably actually were carved more by workers. Probably early on in the city's creation. And been like patched constantly. You could see a lot more cracks and things along the walls and everything like that. Ethla, after a couple hours, the one thing you do notice is after a couple hours of going through this first section, you're thinking you're getting close to the first section. You do notice another one of those strange symbols, and then you come get artists to come look, and you just basically see artists. It takes you again another few minutes to kind of read it, but basically it's strange. It almost means two things. It partially means passageway, but it also slightly means hidden. It's weird. You're not quite sure exactly what it means, but I'll say even looking around, you don't see anything. Like there's not another like hole in the wall that's nearby. There's a couple cracks around, but all of them are very thin. You're unsure what it's denoting or where it's denoting to. But there's nothing around it that seemingly immediately jumps out at you guys, even with the high investigation check. But you do see a similar symbol, so if not now, at some point there might have been something here. Or you're just not seeing it and it is still here.
Artist, do you relay that to the rest of us? That this says... Okay.
I'm going to put a mark on the map here. Basically, we've got another way marker.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it sort of roughly translates as hidden passage, but there doesn't seem to be anything obvious. And with the repairs that Veronica said that she'd been doing down here, it may very well be that she's either deliberately or inadvertently covered it over. But I'm going to mark its location on the map so we can come back to it at a later point to investigate a bit more thoroughly.
Just randomly, before we move on, I'm just going to put one big knock on the wall right above where the symbol is. Just a...
I mean, it's hard to tell. It seems solid. I mean, you don't know how solid, but it does seem like stone and solid.
It was worth a try.
You're not sure if it's an old one. You're not sure if it's still there. You're not sure even how to get access to it, but if there is something still there. But the symbol is there, so there's at least at some point been something like that. But you're unsure.
All right, well, I guess we should continue. Just make sure that's on our copy of the map and not the official city copy of the map. They may be slightly confused. I know he's BRBing, but
Yeah, I'll make sure that's probably what you guys would have done. Or if anything, it's a symbol that you're not. It's not the exact symbol. It's just a marking that don't know what it is. Either way, you spend another hour or two looking and mapping, and you don't really find too much extra other than that. You know, either of these things are hidden very well, or there's not very few of them in the sewer. You're not quite sure which, but
Yeah.
only finding that one in this top section and not really finding anything that goes with it. But you do map a good amount of the area. You feel like you have found a few of those tunnels that go down, but none of them have ladders or anything. So you feel like that if for the next day, if you're continuing to do this, you can just start at the next section and find the connectors to it. You've basically mapped out the entire top area.
Yeah.
For today. I don't know if you guys want to do anything else, but it is at this point getting kind of late.
I'm gonna put it towards the group. Right, well, it is getting late. The sun is going down, the moon's coming out. Is it worth, and hear me out, would it be worth perhaps staying out again tonight? Different costume, or perhaps no costume at all, going back to where the tavern was, and seeing if a similar thing happens tonight. With people getting locked in, but no one with no possible reason.
Is that what you want to do? Are you?
I'm okay. I may be a little tired in the morning, but I am very interested in this lead. I think that with its proximity to the safe house, it is definitely worth checking it out. And then we'll know for sure if the same thing happens tonight. We will know if it must be something. If it was just a lock-in, they wouldn't have a lock-in 2 nights in a row. There has to be something going on if it happens again.
Not a bad idea.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm happy. I'm even happy to potentially go alone. I won't approach the tavern. I won't pry inside, but I do wish to definitely check it out, be it alone or with someone else. I
Did
will
you
get
check the
back into a disguise.
back of it? I can't remember. I don't think you did.
I did not check that. I tried to peek through one of the windows and couldn't see anything.
The back of the tavern.
That's what it was.
The back of the tavern is against the wall.
Oh,
So
I will be. Okay, never mind.
So you wouldn't be able to check the back. It seems to be partially built into the wall, but you know.
How late did they leave bum
1 in the morning?
I can't remember what it's called.
You're talking about the owner locking it or
That,
someone
yeah.
locking it? Yeah, about 1-ish in the morning. Again, like none of you guys are the best at telling time, but that's your best guess.
Somewhere between midnight and...
What I mean is it wasn't crazy late.
No, it wasn't like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was
arguably not as late as you would expect a tavern to close, depending.
That was my thinking, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I
you
know
don't
it's
know.
not an inn, but
I mean, you don't know if it's that way every night, but that's at least what it was last night. So
well, that's what I wish to go to check.
Why don't... I don't know if this is a dumb idea.
From you,
It might be.
Walrus.
nothing but the smartest.
It might be a dumb idea. Why don't like Efla and I or something go in and pretend to be customers, and then artists can watch from outside. Go Gudbrand and Olive can do what they want, I guess. I don't have any say in what they do.
Wait, can someone catch me up? Last I
Okay,
saw we were in the sewer.
Yes, we have left the sewer. We have finished. We've marked, not finished, but finished for today. It's getting late. So I put forward the idea that perhaps we have another stakeout at the tavern to see if the same shenanigans happen tonight, or if perhaps it was a one-off event, like a lock-in, as you said. And now Walrus has come up with the idea where him and I go inside of the tavern to masquerade as customers, whilst you keep a lookout outside to see if anything occurs.
Are you going to be in disguise, or are you going in
mean,
as yourselves?
I wasn't planning. I mean, I could take the hat off. That might work.
It's quite difficult to disguise a person like Walrus, but I mean,
I've seen some big ladies.
I'm just saying I don't know if he would be very fitting his disguise. He wouldn't really act the part.
I think it's better for you to not be disguised.
Probably a good call.
Not
If they figure out we're in a disguise, that could
yes,
cause issues.
not lie to them. Perhaps.
I will point out once again that if they know who I am, then they definitely know who he is.
It's
Yeah,
worth a
but,
try, and of course I'll have Walrus there to protect me.
The thinking is that, you know, they probably don't know that we know that something hinky's going on. So if we're there and he's like, customers, great.
I
Right,
did
and
cast
then
a spell at one of them.
Are there any other taverns on that level?
You haven't really looked too much. There's potential, but you haven't seen one yet.
Okay, well,
how good are you guys at acting?
Very.
fantastic.
So if we were to say, pour a little alcohol on you so you reek, maybe have a bit of a drink yourself, not enough to get intoxicated, but just enough so you've got alcohol in your breath, and you were to stumble in complaining about how you got kicked out of another bar.
Why not
That
just go?
could work.
Why cast ourselves as problems? Why not be like, we're doing
No,
like a tavern
we don't have to
tour.
seem like problems.
Well, if you get kicked out, you're generally a problem.
Just go
That
to
is
the
true.
tavern asking for a drink and food.
Yeah, it's
Here
probably a better
is an idea. I say a
Make it
mixture of all
simple.
of that. We have been doing hard work. Why don't we go on a pub crawl? And just make that one of our stops.
There you go. See, there we go. Perfect plan.
Do
Okay.
you have magic that will negate the effects of alcohol or something? Because
I do have that,
It's-
yes.
excellent.
It's called self-discipline, artist.
It is also
That
called
too.
self-discipline, yes.
Called having a tolerance.
But if we hit up a couple of other pubs on the way, you know, then if somebody is watching us, then it is not as suspicious, you know? And then we can all be together, and if something does happen that is not exactly safe, I would feel more comfortable, yes.
All
I
right,
agree
all
with
right.
that. I was wondering how we would communicate if, say, you were locked in the bar and it became sentient.
Screaming. General mayhem.
Yes.
Can pick locks.
Well, if it becomes a sentient bar, I think I'm not going to stick around and pick locks.
Well, no, you'll be inside being digested while I'm outside picking the lock.
But don't pick the lock, just break in. It's not good, don't matter.
Is
And if
picking
it's
the
easy-
lock of a sentient building like picking their teeth?
Yes.
Picking its nose.
Ah.
Ugh. And if
It
it's a
might
murder
cause
cannibal,
it to
then there you
sneeze
go.
them out.
through the lock? It would be rather painful.
Well, let's head back to the tavern, get cleaned up, and get ready for this pub crawl.
All right. I could use a good drink in jovial tidings. It's a very good idea.
Okay.
I agree.
Upon kind of having this conversation, kind of making your way back to the entrance that you guys went into the sewers in, kind of making your way back out, and getting across.
my way.
Again, making your way across, moving fast. You make your way to, you make your way to the tavern and using, cleaning methods, bathing, prestidigitation, all the different things you want to do. You guys feel relatively clean and don't smell from the sewers. Luckily enough, you didn't
Actually, Good Brand does smell of a cologne and perfume.
Old Spice.
I think now it's just new spice.
Driving a unicorn.
Current
It's
spice.
just spice.
Current
It's
spice.
just spice.
It's just spice.
You don't call something that's new something unless there was an old something first. So it's
Well, yeah,
in this day and age, it's
no
just
spice.
spice.
In the old was no spice, and now then there was spice, and now this is.
And now it's
new
Spice
Spice
Classic.
must flow.
Let
The
there be
must
spice.
I can't wait till they bring back Spice Classic.
Yeah.
Spice
Spice
Zero
is necessary for pub travel. Let's go.
Ancient Spice.
So upon
Smells of mummy rot.
doing
Is
all
that just what the Spice Girls are called now? Is just they're all just ancient spice?
Crusty Spice.
We're getting in tangents. That okay. New monster idea. Crusty Spice. Cleaning up and everything. You guys decided to do this pub crawl.
Grunge version.
I'm assuming you're gonna go to a couple other pubs before you make your way to that one.
Well, yeah, that'll be our last stop.
We're just gonna get we're gonna get some tops, have a beer or two,
So yeah, kind of. I'll say just grabbing a beer at your current place and then kind of making your way all the way through these. You stop at a few bars. Some, as you're going lower, obviously they're getting less and less nice, but they're still decent establishments that you're just getting a beer or two and kind of just having a little bit of chit-chat and conversations. Try to making it look as natural as possible. Some are doing better than others. But you're able to at least get there until finally, kind of after the third, you start to head down to the Wolf's Fang, and kind of making your way over to it. I know I keep saying it, because I can't think of anything else now because it's in my head. You kind of
heading over.
You kind of get to it, and upon arriving, you notice the door is closed, but kind of you casually open it, and you notice it is not a very nice place. It looks well put together, and there are like a few decorations of there's like a stuffed head of what looks like a it almost looks like a deer, but its horns are more, as it comes out, it almost like they curve in a strange way. It's really weird. And a few other decorations, what looks like different hunting things. There's like a bow and a few other things as well. And there's even in the back behind the bar, kind of rose up on like this strange shelf unit, is a fully stuffed it's larger than a regular wolf, but it's not quite dire wolf stature, but it is large, fully stuffed. And you see a few people in the bar. Both of the other two people that aren't the bartender are kind of just making themselves more incognito. They're not hiding themselves, but they're trying not to be as visual. They got kind of cloaks on, but their hoods are down. One seems to be an elven gentleman with darker hair that's just kind of casually sipping on what looks like whiskey, and the other one seems to be a human woman, blonde, that's just kind of it looks like she's got a scar kind of down her side of her face, and she kind of just looks at you all as you guys walk in, and then just kind of continues drinking her ale. And then you see the bartender, which is a burly looking human gentleman with actually blue hair, weirdly enough, kind of braided all the way down, past his side. It looks like he has a couple different scars along his face that look very ages. Some look fairly new, but some look rather old. And he's just kind of wiping down the counter at the moment and kind of sees you guys approach, and he's like, he looks a little confused for about a moment, and he goes, "All right, how can I help y'all?"
One drink,
Hi.
please.
Yeah, I'd like a beer.
Your best ale.
All right. And he kind of takes a moment and he pulls out a couple mugs and he kind of gets you ale and a few different things and kind of sets them out and goes, "Haven't seen you lot around here."
We're having a pub crawl.
Pub crawl, yeah.
Pub crawl.
It's our third stop on the rounds.
Technically fourth.
Fourth stop on the rounds.
Yeah, 4.
Well,
We
surprised
are
you
new
made
to
it to
the
this
town.
one. Yeah, I could tell. You're a little eccentric, it looks like, but I don't judge, I guess. Kind of continues to kind of scrub one section of the bar that he's looking at, and he goes, "Well, hopefully your crawl is going well, I guess. Hopefully this isn't your last stop. Hopefully there's a better place that you can stop at your last stop."
Oh, this place is plenty fine.
You should see some of the places I've drank in before.
He kind of just silently nods. This is not a lively place.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely the most liveliest people here, and only half of you are lively, and it is quiet. There is, like, other than the few movement of the bartender and you guys, there's really like no sound.
Such an awkward atmosphere. It's just like a couple of us going on, yeah, drinks, woo, more. And then the rest of the place is just dead silent.
I mean, it's honestly pretty much the definition of a dive bar. Like, people are just keeping to themselves, the few people that do. One more person does seem to come in and kind of just nods at the bartender, and the bartender immediately like pulls out like a larger glass and like fills it with like a more clear liquid. It's not water by any means. It doesn't smell like water, but it some kind of alcoholic vodka-esque stuff, and then kind of walks it over to that guy's table and sets it down and just walks back. He probably seems to know everyone else in the bar, probably. Which is why he probably looked a little confused when y'all walked in. Probably doesn't get very many new faces around here. But you guys casually start drinking and everything like that. Is there anything you're wanting to do while you're inside? Are you wanting to look around, or you want to try to talk to more people?
I was just going to say that, I don't think talking to anyone is a good idea.
Horus, what was
Yeah.
it like being swallowed by that jelly thing?
Really weird. It hurt. And it was really sticky. 8 out of 10.
I gotta say, you
Would
looked
do it
funny
again.
when you were sort of stuck in midair. And
It felt funny. 8 out of 10. I'd do it again.
watching my arrows hit something I couldn't see and sort of stop in the air, and it was really weird.
Drink to the giant jelly monster.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
drink to that.
To the jelly monster, yes.
Yeah, sure.
You see the bartender and a couple of the patrons like slightly casually look up while you're saying this story, but pretty immediately just go back to their own things. It's more like they were like, "What the?" Okay, and kind of casually going.
While Walrus is talking, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the room, see if anyone's paying a bit of extra attention to us.
Make a perception check.
While he does that, can I ask, is this the only room we can see, or is there other doors?
There does seem to be a door. It is ajar, and you can casually kind of see. It just looks like a back room.
Okay.
You can't see too much of it. You just see what looks like probably like a small table, with a few other bottles of alcohol on it and a few pieces of paper. You don't really see anything else inside of it, but it doesn't seem very large. For a 24 in perception, the bartender casually gives you the eye every once in a while. Just, it's not like he doesn't like you being here. It's more that he's just uncomfortable that of the atmosphere you guys are bringing. In a weird way, he doesn't know who you are and everything like that, but he doesn't seem extremely uncomfortable. But you are see the other patrons keep looking at you guys and are like, "Why are you guys here?" Pretty consistently. The one thing you do notice is you swear, as you were looking around, you swear that you noticed a strange, like, sparkle for a moment. And you had to, and like, it's almost as if like something glared for a second. And you look and you swore that it came from the large stuffed wolf's eye. Almost as if something reflected on it for a moment. But you don't see anything now. You're unsure what it was.
I'm gonna avoid drawing any attention to it, but sort of make sure that I keep it in my vision. So if it happens again, I might be able to perhaps see the origin of it.
Okay. You keep an eye on it, but at the moment you don't see anything else. Like too obvious. I don't know how long you guys are wanting to hang out here. I'm assuming you guys maybe talked about it beforehand. How long you thought about staying here.
None of us can go invisible, right? That's too high level. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't think we decided on a set amount. It was pretty much just stay until close, right? It was
one
like
of you can go invisible, by the way.
Oh.
But I don't know if you want. That's entirely up to him. You guys can stay till close. You can try to.
Oh, that is me.
Yep.
I was it's like, shit, is that me?
Yeah.
I was looking, going, I can hide.
Yeah.
I literally always forget what spells I have.
The thinking was we could all leave. We'll pretend to leave, and as we're going out the door,
I like go invisible and go back in.
Exactly. Yeah, and then
like before the door closes.
Yeah, like I'm holding the door open for everyone else, or because I'm bigger, right? So I can block a view. And it looks like everyone leaves, and then you're still invisible inside.
I mean, I'll say you guys could have talked about that before you went in. If you want to do that, or if you want to stay till close, or.
Well, I think like the idea is that we stay till close, and then as we're leaving for close, then
that was
like then I go back in.
That.
So it's not that they leave early; it's that we wait until close, and then I will sneak in as we're all leaving.
Okay. We can move a little bit away from the building while someone pretends to hurl.
I was just gonna pee on it, but yeah, that works too.
Don't pee on the possibly sentient house.
I think that is a very bad idea. I don't think that we want to leave somebody in there. What if they have some way to detect you while you are
that's
hidden?
Why we wouldn't go very far.
I mean, it is a very clandestine place. They would expect magics of that sort.
But would they though?
Yes, I think they would.
If they controlled the city, they probably wouldn't think anyone would be bold enough to be
I know
like,
there are wards
Or
on.
dumb enough to do that.
I know that the keep that my lord stays in, that has wards too.
Well, that's also he's a big
This
he's
is
a
an
big
entire
lordly
guild of
dude.
clandestine thieves.
Yeah, and they control a whole city.
In one of the yes,
they
they
control a whole
control a
city.
whole city. Yes,
So they're gonna be pretty,
prepared for something like this.
They're
yes.
gonna be clandestine, but they're also not gonna be expecting people to be clandestine in that way. They're not gonna be thinking, "Oh, there's an invisible person in the
talking about an
tavern."
entire guild of cutthroats and thieves. They would be watching
Yeah,
each other constantly.
I think I'm still
Look,
correct.
I think the real question is, once I'm in, how do I get back out?
Window.
That is another question. Yes.
Well, no,
The
the
windows
windows
are too small.
narrow.
Oh,
It's like, okay, say for example, I go in, I hide, I get in maybe a barrel. That's okay and all. I can watch, I can eavesdrop. Morning comes around, I'm still in the barrel. If I get out of the barrel, they're going to know I wasn't in there, or I wasn't meant to be in there previously. I think it's too risky until we perhaps know more about what we're doing.
I don't have a solution.
Also, until we have a reason why we need to do this,
That is true. We haven't
we are
even
just
seen...
poking our heads in where we don't even know where we belong.
I don't know. Everyone seemed really important about figuring stuff out, so I thought it was a good idea.
We don't even know what we are figuring out.
We will save the invisibility for another time.
Okay.
Right now, we're just having a drink and paying attention.
But not paying attention too much to draw suspicion. We're paying just the right amount of attention to fly under their perception.
All right.
So what's the biggest thing you've taken down, Morris?
Saw me eat a pretty big burger once.
Yeah, I did that. That's true. He just starts listing large food at first. Probably the cube would have been, no?
Really? I'm surprised.
In recent memory, yes.
Yeah.
The only thing you've ever fought that had been technically, I guess, that large of a size would have been a troll once.
Okay, yeah, then technically I troll, but they're pretty close to size. It's the same.
Did you eat it?
No. No.
Always wondered if you ate some troll and it sort of regenerates, would you always be full?
I don't know.
To the kitchen!
Not a bad thought.
It is an interesting thought.
You
yes.
see Walrus thinking about that for way too long. Okay.
Once ate a manticore steak at a bar.
So, I will say you guys do this casual talk for a couple hours. Because by the time you'd gotten here, yeah, it'd been a couple hours. The few patrons that are in here do leave after about an hour of you guys staying here. Except for the person who walked in after you guys had already arrived. They stay for another 30 minutes and then head out as well until you and the bartender are the only ones in here at the moment. And then about 30 more minutes goes by. So you guys hit the 2-hour mark before he kind of goes, "Y'all want anything else? Or I'm going to close up here in a minute."
No, we will move on to the next destination. Pub crawl!
Pub crawl!
Sound like Dracula for some reason.
There's a bit of Dracula.
We're coming to raid your pubs.
It is just indistinct, like Eastern/Northern European. That's all.
He goes, "All right, well, at least you're keeping your guys' energy up, I guess. All right, well."
You recommend anywhere?
You're You're a good guy. You're real. You keep being good guy. And
Don't start telling people you love them. Remember how that went last time.
Just because
yeah.
it's so funny. Good brand. Have you actually drinking that much, or are you faking this? I'm assuming.
It's a mixture. Like he's
okay,
overselling it, but he is starting to get drunk.
Okay, then that's fine. If you were like completely faking it, I would have made you make a deception check just to see. But I'll say if you're halfway there, that's fine.
The thing is Good Brand this whole time, like this is not what Good Brand does. So Good Brand has just been getting drunk.
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
there was no way he was gonna be able to fake this, and he knew some of his other party could. So no need.
Makes
Worst case scenario,
Makes
greater
sense.
restoration, and he's in the fight, or lesser
you're-
restoration, and he's in the fight.
you're good.
So
I just wanted to check. No, you're good. That's great then. So yeah, kind of starting to step out of the bar. You can see him starting to clean up, and it looks like he's grabbing a couple things, including you hear like the jingle of keys, and it looks like he starts to. You've seen him walk into the back room a few times, but he's come back out pretty quickly. Usually carrying like another bottle of something and kind of reorganizing stuff or doing something, but he kind of heads back to the back, and you can hear kind of a jingle of keys as well as you guys are heading out. Are you guys just heading out and walking off, or are you waiting to see him come out?
I think
I'd
we wander off, man.
Say we move away from the building a bit while someone either relieves themselves or
Yeah.
urges.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. After you guys walk out, about 7-ish minutes later, you see the bartender walk out and kind of lock the door as well, and just kind of casually look around. He does kind of notice you guys and just kind of gives like a slight nod, and then just walks down the street, or starts to walk down the
Is
street.
that good guy again?
Good guy.
He,
Do up your codpiece, damn it. We don't want the guards on us.
he ignores you, and he probably does hear you because you were loud, but he ignores you and continues to walk. As you guys say all that. All right. At that point, you guys are alone, partially faking drunk and partially drunk along the street
Tipsy.
side. Yeah.
Well, we need to maintain our cover. To the next bar.
To the
Okay.
next bar.
To the next bar.
Oh god.
That's fine. Going up a layer, you do find another bar that is actually still open at the moment. That actually is a little bit more lively. This is probably where a lot of the workers from the lower levels come to actually relax, and there are seemingly like 6 or 7 individuals that are about at your guys' level, and as you come in and they notice that you guys are already like at there as well, they're like, hey, it's new guys, and they're like, and yeah, they just immediately go, yeah, and you find a way better energy level in this bar, and they will drink as much as you guys want with you as well, because they are like, a couple of them are like, it's my day off tomorrow, I don't get to do anything but sleep in this bar and drink.
Yes, that
Ooh.
Yes, that.
I'll drink to
To
that.
It starts to get a little rowdy, but we're good. Here's my question: how much is everyone drinking?
I'm definitely not
Um,
drinking enough where I'm crazy. It's just the perfect amount.
I'd probably do the same, contrary to what most people would believe.
I'm the happy side of tipsy.
Good Brand's like in his cups at this point.
I am with Good Brand.
All right.
Like
So-
I said, he knows he could just cast Great Lesser Restoration on himself if something goes down, so he's
Yeah.
not really
And
stressed out about
I'm not thinking hard enough about it to even consider that, and
Okay.
I'm very, very tipsy.
I'm still
it.
keeping
Drink
an eye
until
out.
thine asses are drunk.
Perhaps hoping to see someone familiar, perhaps someone who frequented the previous bar, see whether they come in after us.
Okay, make a perception check. It is a little harder just because there's more people in the bar, but you're keeping an eye out. 13. Yeah, unfortunately, you do see 2 more individuals come in, but you don't recognize them. They don't seem to be, at least people that you saw in the previous bar. But they just kind of come in, like, go to the bar, get drinks. One of them seems lively, and the other one just seems to be wanting a drink, and seems tired.
Are they paying attention to us?
Not at the moment. Other than that, they casually look over at the people making the loudest noises, which is sometimes part of your team. Part of your team.
Go!
Bogrol!
Can we
I
get
want.
a bunch of workers to follow us to another pub?
No,
Can we
darling.
turn this into a proper pub crawl?
You can. You could try.
Me and the Scald. Drinking contest.
This is
Now!
a bad decision.
Bring us
Drinking contest!
Bring us the bucket!
Uh,
Bring us some buckets and horns!
Why is it a bucket?
Because you gotta...
Yeah. No, I know what he's talking
Yeah.
about, and he's not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Because people like get quiet for a moment, and you see the bartender like go, "I haven't brought out the bucket in years." Bucket!
Bucket!
I actually have my own horn, so I kind of just
Dip it in
close
my
up
bucket.
the end, hold it up, and I'm like, I'm ready.
It,
All right.
it needs to be the same size. I don't want you cheating, you scum.
This is a proper drinking horn.
All
Got
right.
quickly out of hand.
Only the finest drinkers.
His horn is a hair bigger, but what they do is they bring out yours and they pour ale into it, and then they pour it into his, and then they pour it again and have yours full, so they're the same amount.
Yeah.
So that
All
it's
right.
fair at least. But yeah, they do that, and they bring out 2 buckets, about 2/3 of the way full of ale at this point as well.
Yes.
And you have created a small crowd around you.
that is fine.
Hang on, we gotta have our other buddies in with us.
I'll
Group
join
that went,
them, I guess.
"Hey," when we walked in. Let's
Okay.
get that on it.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has alcohol, and they're just not involved in this absolute contest that you
Yeah.
guys are doing. But they are
The
like,
contest is between me and the bar.
Yeah,
'cause he said
they-
he was getting drunk.
Oh,
as,
no.
as drunk as I
mean
was.
the crowd.
yeah, I got you.
Yes.
I'm joining the
Oh,
crowd.
The crowd is gathered. The crowd is gathered.
Pretty much everyone at this point, even the guy who is tired, has made his way over to you guys and is watching this happen. So I don't know what I would make.
Go!
I have a couple ideas.
Constitution.
Yeah, well,
Scald,
I think I'm gonna make it
scald,
2 different
scald.
checks at this point.
Okay.
I think what I'm
Excellent
gonna do.
Constitution.
No, I'm actually gonna make it a. At first, I just want a base charisma check from both of you, and then I want a base constitution
Oh.
check from both of you.
All
There's
right,
reasons.
charisma.
Hey!
Wait! Oh my God! I beat him.
Yeah, I was like, you could still win.
Oh
That's
wait!
what I
Hold
thought.
on!
Natural
Hold on!
one.
No! That is not true. That is not true.
Why do you?
I
Not?
am drunk.
No, I'm letting this be the way it is. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well,
I'm letting
that's
it.
fine
I'm
then.
letting it be those. You're not rolling a disadvantage for a reason.
Okay.
And then I just want you guys to make constitution checks as well.
Is this Constitution check or saving throw?
It's the same for both of you, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Oh God!
Wow! How? What is this?
Is that your like?
Self-selected.
Is that your fourth like natural one of the day?
That is my
Yeah, it is.
fourth.
God.
Even my terrible
rough.
rolls.
No, it's
Isn't
my
it good
fifth.
we're not in battle?
Oh, it's your fifth.
It's my fifth one.
Rough tamales. Right
This is
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
No.
So here's what happens. You guys start drinking, and you guys are already past the point where it's getting tough to do this. And
Yeah.
but the drunkenness is pushing you guys to do it. It's slower than most contests you see, but Good eventually finishes his horn a little bit before Efla does. But you can see them both like teetering at this point. They're not gonna vomit right yet, but they are way past the point. They are like, they could go pass out in the alley kind of drunk. But they start even taking their horn and dumping it into the bucket and keep drinking anyway. And
Heck yeah, dude.
and just keep going.
I push it.
No, they push it crazy.
I order 2 coffees and 2 waters and try to like
You do that,
dump
but
it in their horn. I'm gonna dump it in their horn.
It was a nearly even match, Scald, but in the end, I am victorious.
I didn't
yeah.
have enough
And-
to eat.
And the crowd is drinking as well, and they're cheering, and they're
Yes!
freaking out.
I definitely drink a lot of water.
Yeah. You start to, but you have so much at this point in your stomach, it's hard to do so, but you do get a little bit into you as well. I need to roll something real quick.
All right, is it we
Pops.
go back to the room now?
Okay. Yeah, after this whole shebang is over, you guys are done. You guys can barely walk, to be honest.
I cast lesser restoration on myself.
I will
Roll for spell failure.
I will give you that it helps for sure. But there is enough alcohol in your system that at the moment, even the magic, it like you immediately get sober, but as
Yeah,
it's
but then
being
the
digested
rest in my
again,
stomach, yeah.
correct,
Oh,
is you're
Oh,
like
yeah.
immediately back to tipsy. Like
Yeah.
like pretty much almost immediately, and after
Yeah.
a few minutes you're back to starting to get drunk again already, just because
Yeah,
you have
that-
so much in your system right now.
That's fine.
But you're better
But
off.
I mean, I can walk home.
You can
now.
walk. Efla can walk. He stumbles a lot though.
And wobble.
Yeah, you're wobbling home or wobbling back to
I'll
the other-
hold him up, and we'll be singing songs like the whole way, like Nordic drinking songs, which I don't know any personally as Roland, but he would know them.
I think I have some on my phone.
He does. I know he does. I will say, just because I rolled a few times, for the other people, you're drinking casually. Artist, you're holding up pretty well at the moment. You're still just kind of you've been able to teeter on the tipsy the entire time. Walrus, you have a extremely high tolerance.
I'm fine.
You're even though you're even like drinking almost as much as they are, to a point you're still very just teetering on tipsy. Olive, surprisingly enough, you do get a little bit more drunk than you're expecting. Not anything crazy, but you're getting to that point where you're a little more woozy and a little tired. But nothing like you're not gonna vomit or anything. You're just more tired than you expect. After this all happens, and even if you guys, let's say, convince a couple of the workers to go to another bar, you kind of make your way to another one, drink a little bit, but you realize you guys are basically done at this point. It's getting to be like 3 or 4 in the morning. And so you kind of wobble and casually kind of get out of the bar that you're at and make your way up to the tavern that you're staying at and stumble in and are able to get to your rooms as well as you
drink
can.
2 very big glasses of water and cast another lesser restoration on myself before I go to bed.
Okay. It helps, but you're still probably going to have a slight headache in the morning.
Anyone follow us back to the inn?
Make a perception check again.
$20?
You're not quite sure. You don't have dark vision, and it is very dark at this time of night, even with the small bits of light that are built into the ceilings of the layers. There's a couple times that you slightly feel like you're being watched, but by the time you turn around, there's nothing there, and you even kind of casually like break off from the group and kind of look out down a couple alleyways. But you don't notice anyone. But you're getting it. You have an itchy feeling that maybe, but you didn't see anyone.
Okay.
Does anybody want to do anything else before you guys go to bed?
No.
All right. Sleep comes pretty well for all of you. The drunkenness definitely helps. Pretty much almost as soon as you lay in the bed, you guys all kind of crash pretty quickly. You guys wake up pretty late in the day for what's going on, to be honest. So almost lunchtime before people start getting out of bed and coming down. Good brand. You wait a little longer. Olive hasn't come down yet.
Dun dun dun.
I want to go knock on her door.
Okay, so nothing. Nothing.
Do I have a key to this door? Is it locked?
At the moment, doesn't seem to be locked.
Then I open the door.
You open the door. You look around. You see a disheveled bed. You see the slightly smaller than your guys' room, but it is a single room, so it's decently large for a single room. You can see all his backpack or bag on the ground and everything like that. You see the disheveled bed. You do not see her anywhere.
I get down and I start praying to prepare a spell. Because I'm going to prepare my spells for the morning.
Okay. That makes sense. And with that prayer of hope, I think we're going to end tonight's session there.
Princess snapped.
Guess you'd have to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a 3rd level spell. God damn it.
Yeah, we're not quite the 3rd level yet. Spells yet. We're close. Not quite there yet. Ellie just said something, but it didn't come through because she's muted.
Oh, what? No.
Oh, you're good now. Oh, wait.
I guess that's not going to help. I thought that
Sorry, what did you say?
Was...
No, couldn't tell if you meant to be muted or not. I didn't know if you were talking.
I meant to be muted.
Okay,
yeah.
you're good. Yeah. We'll just have to find out what's happening with that. Next time.
I guess so.
Yeah. This will be fun.
Dun, dun,
Whatever.
This organization.
Oh, Roland's like, good brand is about to go off.
Yeah.
Turns into Liam Neeson.
Yes. Basically.
I don't know
yes.
who you are or where you've been, but I have a particular set of spells that I'm going to use against you.
Ah, my head hurts.
I have a very particular set of spells that I prayed to get today. I will find you, and I will end you. I really wish that would happen, but unfortunately.
You sending
not okay.
stones.
Just this is not
Yeah,
okay.
they-
Yeah,
Leave
there's
a
a
sending
sending
stone
stone on
behind.
the bed, and he waits till he picks it up. Yeah.
Well, we do have those the rings.
Mm.
The rings don't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no way for me to detect you through the rings.
Gotcha.
And I was looking for locate object or locate creature, and I think that they're third level spells.
Locate
because I can't find them.
locate object you already have prepared, and it's
Oh
second
wait,
level.
locate object I do have beautiful. We do have those rings. Awesome.
But it does have a range, so
It does,
Ooh.
and I can cast it twice a day.
No, I know.
So and for 10 minutes.
No.
So
It's-
it's gonna be.
it's a pretty high possibility. But we'll have to find out.
Cool.
So that's for certainly good. Yeah, we'll end it there. It looks like we have a couple of people watching, so I'll rate as soon as we go to the end screen. I hope the people that were lurking enjoyed it. If they were watching, if not, hopefully people catch this later and get to find out exactly what's going on, because we're about to get into the craziness. Other than that, we'll see you guys later.
Bye,
Fun
internet.
times.
Bye bye.
Bye, all.